Hello, welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Pharmaceutical Science 505 Bioinformatics. Video 2, how to install Python, R, and IDE. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So it's basically a tool that can let you write your program and run it, debug it, and inspect the code. So you have all installed, different software packages. So I don't actually mean to teach you, step by step how to actually, download these things and then click next, 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 agree the user agreement, and then install it on your computer, right? That's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to actually show you a few things to avoid and the things to do in order to have a consistent and efficient working environment. The first thing is that the Python. So Python comes with many different versions, starting from Python 2 many years ago, and then Python 3. There's, of course, a Python 1. I've never used the Python 1, but the Python 2 was the one maybe in 2020, is still there. Now everybody used Python 3. So Python 2 and Python 3, there's a big difference there. So also, since you're starting now, I suggest you to use Python 3. Any version that's above Python 3, 3.7 should be a good start. You don't have to install the latest and the newest one because that's not really needed for your work. And when you actually go to the website, there's actually the download for your own platform. Be very careful about the version of the programming language that you install. For example, in Python 2, the print is actually written this way. So print hello world with a quote, right? In Python 3, it's actually written a different way. Print becomes a real function with a parenthesis, and then you write it this way. So because of the difference in versions, script that's written in one version may not actually work in another version. So when you try to replicate the work from another reference or some other people's script, be careful of what's the version they actually use. In general, the computer language should be backward compatible, at least within the one major versions. For example, if something is written in Python 3.7, Python 3.12, 3.12 should be backward compatible with 3.7, but not the reverse. So something written in 3.12 may not be compatible with 3.7. But in this case, Python 2 and Python 3 is not backward compatible, so you need to modify the code in Python 2 in order for it to run on Python 3. The difference between Python and R, the two most popular programming language for bioinformatics, are as follows. Python is more of a more general programming language, which is more similar to the traditional programming language, such as Perl, C, C++, Rust, just to name a few. These programming language can be used for many different purposes, including make a web app, make a mobile app on your phone. On the other hand, R is really developed for statistics. So R is really good at performing statistical analysis, which is actually one major component of bioinformatics. Python is also very good at artificial intelligence and has been the language of choice for machine learning projects, including PyTorch, TensorFlow. All of these things are developed essentially using Python. So if you are into machine learning, Python is a very good start. So in terms of which language to pick, I say you can actually learn both at the same time, especially if you're actually wants to learn bioinformatics. It's kind of, you can't avoid any one of them. If you're using R, you can actually avoid using Python from time to time to actually for machine learning, for things like data processing. And if you're using Python, it's actually also unavoidable to actually use R sometimes to use some statistical packages to actually perform some of the more complicated statistical analysis. Python can perform some statistical analysis, but on the simpler side. It doesn't have the comprehensive packages that R has. On the other hand, R is actually a little difficult to actually start at the beginning. So I'll say that if you just started, maybe start with Python, which is easy and fun to learn. And then when the time comes that you actually need to use some of the R packages, you can then move a little bit to R. Learning two things at the same time is not actually a bad thing. It doesn't actually make things more difficult. It actually makes things easier because then you can compare the two languages. How things are actually expressed in different languages and what's in common and what's not in common. However, these things, learning two, of course, is going to cost you more time than learning one. So in this course, the Bioinformatics course 505, I'll actually mainly use Python to actually show you how to do things, but we'll also cover some part of the R. So the next thing is the choice of IDE, the Integrated Development Environment. So the main two things are PyCharm and VS Code. PyCharm has two versions. One is community version, one is professional version. I'll recommend you the professional version. Professional version normally costs you money, but if you have educational like .edu email, if you're a graduate student, you can sign up for a free educational account, so it's totally free for you. VS Code is completely free, so both of these are free to use in your case. You can use either one. I generally use PyCharm, but you can use VS Code, which is a very popular choice as well. There's not much difference between PyCharm and VS Code, so just choose one and stick with it. You can install both of these and see which one you like better in terms of how it looks, and then you can stick with it. If you're using a Mac or if you're using Windows, they will look a little bit different on different platforms, but essentially they perform the same thing for your purpose. There are many online courses. You can search on YouTube for crash courses, PyCharm and VS Code, how to use them, and they both have plenty of plugins. These plugins make your life easier by providing auto completion, code check, debugging functions, all of these. But as you know that last year with the release of ChatGPT, nothing is actually better than the AI that can actually help you to write lots of the codes. And that's why I think you enter this bioinformatics at a very good time, because now you don't have to actually go back to computer science class to take computer science 101 and then take 2 years to learn a programming language, because your purpose is not to become a programmer. Your purpose is to become a capable person in bioinformatics and to use bioinformatics in your own research, whether you're a chemist or a biologist, but that's your main expertise. You want to have the bioinformatics as your additional skill that can help you to finish your research project. One final thing for this video is that try to learn how to install packages. Installing packages for either Python or R is actually a very important part of how to make things running, because we all rely on packages that's written by others to perform the essential analysis. Either that's Python data visualization or machine learning, or that's in R you want to perform some detailed statistical comparison analysis. These are all relies on various packages. So learning how to properly install packages is actually important. I would suggest that if you use Python, you stick with pip as your single package installer and manager. PIP is called pip. You can use PyCharm. There's an internal package management function. You can use that to actually manage your package as well. If you're using R, I would suggest you to use either the install.packages, that's the internal function, and on top of that, the bioconductor to install your packages. So there are many different ways of installing that, but stick with one way for installing that. Install the packages will make things more consistent and less prone to error. When installing packages, sometimes you run into a situation where one package seems to be impossible to install. That's normally caused by either that's an incompatible version, so check your main software version if that's Python either 3.7, 3.8. does that actually meet the requirement of the package, or you're using a wrong installer, because not all packages are compatible with all package manager. So that's why I said, stick with one particular package manager. If you have a problem installing either Python, the IDE, or needed packages, don't panic. First thing, search Google. Then ask ChatGPT. If still not solved, ask your classmates, discuss, if someone have already installed that successfully, and try to just replicate what they did. And if still not solved, bring that to class and we'll see what's the problem and how we can solve it. But overall, avoid using different package installers and different IDE at the same time. Try to actually stick with one IDE that you like, so you get familiarized with that quickly, and also stick with one package manager, of your choice. Okay, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next video.